and they're still $3.99. Come on over this week for sure to the Christmas Giving Wonderland. Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens, Southeast 38th Street, Ocala, now open with longer Christmas holiday hours.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Caroline Baldwin is in the studio, looking really pretty with a pretty.
It's the Grinch.
The Grinch.
The Grinch.
And that's one shirt, not
that's
two.
That's one,
huh?
yeah.
It looks like
it's
two.
Just, yeah, well,
you got
it's
a shirt
the design.
On top of a
yeah,
shirt.
it's just the design.
That's nice.
It's festive. It's
I like
fun.
that. So good morning. How are you?
I'm good. Yeah, I wasn't here last week. Just had some stuff at the store, moreover than anything. It wasn't that I was sick or anything. It was just Well,
thank goodness you weren't sick.
It was poinsettia problems or stuff like that. So.
This morning on the Agnet show, they were talking about the myth behind the poinsettia. You know, the story.
Oh, that it's
some kind of a Jesus story.
Oh yeah.
I can't remember what they said now. But
it's we've gone over it. We've had it before. It was
I can't remember what they said.
In Mexico, the two children.
I can't remember what she said.
And that they all they had was but this weed.
That's right. Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
That it all was a gift to the baby.
The amazing fact that you've taught us is that those.
The red is not the flower. That's just a coloration. The flower is inside, in the top of that.
Very little, huh?
Yeah,
that very little
that
yellow
small,
thing.
Yeah, that little small thing, and the bees love them.
Is that right?
Yeah, the not just bumblebees. There were honeybees all over.
That's a good thing for bees to love plants, isn't it?
It is. But so all is good. We survived this cold, or we are surviving it. It's that kind of thing.
Up in Jersey, by the way, your former neck of the woods. It's supposed to be a lot of snow this coming week.
They're getting snow. Well, shoot, the Panhandle got snow.
Yes.
Of course, I have friends that'll say, well, the Panhandle's not really Florida. It's lower Alabama. But it's still Florida. Even though it's stuck way out over there.
But even lower Alabama doesn't usually get snow.
Right.
New Orleans also got snow.
Right. And what was it? San Antonio? What part of Texas?
That's part of Texas.
Where they don't normally get snow.
Yeah.
Atlanta gets snow, about once a year? And it slows things down or shuts things down for a little bit. But, people, I'm sure the plants were in the house. I know they were at my house because I couldn't find my frost blanket to put out. So all the plants came in the house.
What were they using it for?
No, I just couldn't find mine.
Oh, I thought you said you had house guests that were using it.
No, my plants are in the house because I couldn't find my frost blanket. So they're back outside now, and I have frost blanket which I'll probably cover tonight when I get home. Just 35 is just a little, I think they're saying. Yeah. Possibility about 35
well, thank
tonight.
goodness my apple tree is in the studio here.
Right. Now your apple tree would be cold hardy.
Really?
Or should be. Yeah, I mean, apple trees are pretty tough.
So maybe it would have been better to have it out in the cold. Maybe when it got older, it would
when
produce
it gets
apples.
bigger. Yeah, when it's bigger, it'll be happier.
All right, let's jump into the phone calls. I see a few calling, and you've got some good prizes to give.
I do. I got to read them here before we get to those. So,
okay, all right.
So let's see what we got for a phone call.
You want to do phones first? Okay. Good morning. You're on the air with Carol Ann.
Hi guys, how you doing?
Real good.
See, Sunday morning we had it was 29 degrees on my thermometer, and we had a beautiful heavy frost. I mean, it looked like an inch of snow everywhere, roofs, grass, you name it.
Yeah.
And of course, today I'm looking outside. All my grass, other than my ryegrass, is yellow or brown, and the ryegrass looks like it's springtime. And my question is, what is it in ryegrass that the frost or cold temperatures doesn't bother?
It's a cold season grass. It's not, it's a cereal crop. It's something that just it tolerates. It enjoys the cold. If it's just bright green. It'll probably we had rain to usher in that cold. You'll probably even see it grow. And how much it grows here over the winter. It's just one that is a cold season, unlike our turf grasses, which are warm season grasses.
Yeah, it's interesting that you think that maybe scientists could introduce that rye kind of a thing into regular grass so it would stay green all year,
I don't know how many people would want to pay that for a lawn. When you can when for $25 or so you can get a big bag of ryegrass seed, throw it on there, and then the ryegrass itself is actually kind of protecting some of that grass underneath there, and as you're mowing it, providing a natural source of nitrogen.
Yeah, I know where I don't use rye all through my yard, but just certain spots, like I said last week, where the dogs like to go. And it's always in the spring when the regular grass starts coming back. It's the best there than anywhere else in the yard because of that rye being there.
Oh yeah. But most folks will go ahead and at least they'll do like the front yard, what faces the street or the area where they do their entertaining and things like that. That in order to have nice green grass, or they'll do the whole yard just because they like to mow grass all year.
Yeah, what length should I cut that grass at, the ryegrass, when I start cutting?
Couple inches. I mean, probably a good at least 3 to where you're protecting your turf grass underneath it, but not allowing it to get so high as to fully shade out your grass. So you just want it a little taller than what your grass is underneath there.
Yeah, I've got a couple of weak spots. I don't know if it's going to fill it or not, but can I overseed with rye?
Why not? Right.
I mean, I can't. I don't want to rake it or nothing because I don't want to wreck the little bit of grass that's there. So I can just lay it down and then
just put it down and it should do all right. Yeah, you might just once you put it down, just hose it down into where it's going to hit the dirt, and it should come up. Yeah, I mean, I might give us a few days right now because we are as chilly as we are, and but I mean, it should still, if we get, I guess the end of the week, it's supposed to warm up a little bit, or a little better for a few days, and then I would probably put the rye down back on, and you can just put it right on top. It'll be all right.
Okay, well, thanks for the frost. I think we stopped the mosquito season.
Oh, I believe so. Yeah. They got little coats on. You're welcome.
All right, phone lines are open. If you want to call in, the number is 622-9622. Yeah, I guess every time we get a cold spell like this, that's kind of the topic. How does it affect my plants, right?
Oh, yeah, always. It's what did I do? Did I do right or did I do wrong? Or what? How am I going to know if it's been damaged and things like that? And sometimes you don't know right away. Sometimes it does take a few days. And this is a little bit of an extended cold front as to we had the 2 really cold nights. Tonight, what's tonight? Tonight, tomorrow, the next night aren't going to be as cold. But I think then Friday we have another cold front coming in, and it's not going to bring any rain with that one, but it's going to get cold again. Maybe not down to the freezing right. For us here. But still pretty chilly, which in a way, if your plants were fairly hardy, this is actually, it's gonna toughen them up, that's for sure, because they are now going dormant. They will sit there and they will go dormant. They should not be putting on bud or anything like that. Our problem happens is after this, we'll have our couple hundred hours of cold temperatures below 40 degrees, and next thing you know, in early to mid-January, all our peach trees and pear trees and things like that start to flower out, and we're going, it's not time yet. It's don't wake up yet. Go back to sleep. It's not time for you to flower. It's we may get another cold snap and knock out all the buds and the fruit. So.
We are up against a break. Let's take that break. We'll be right back. And Carolyn, you do have some prizes we're going to give away.
I do. We'll take a look. We'll read them when we get back, and maybe to the bottom of the hour.
We'll be right back.
getting into?
Oh, hey, Joe, look at these cool toys.
Some nice things. A doll, a baseball bat. Hey, what's this?
Oh, that's a translator.
A translator?
Yeah, Chinese, Japanese, even Ocala-ese.
Ocala-ese?
Yeah, give it a try.
Okay, translator. Translate ice skating rink.
The translation of ice skating rink in Ocala-ese is large white sheet of plastic.
Oh, that's good. Translate winter.
Winter in Ocala-ese is 2 days in January.
Isn't this a great toy?
Okay, translator. Translate Santa Claus.
The translation of Santa Claus in Ocala-ese is WOCA listeners.
That's right, WOCA listeners, you've done it before, and we're asking for your help again.
Just bring a new or gently used toy to the WOCA studios in the Paddock Mall, and we'll put it under our Christmas tree.
Then, on December 15th, all the toys will be picked up by Florida Kids Helping Kids.
WOCA listeners truly are Santa Claus.
Gene Powell, Past Chamois. Gene and Debbie would like to thank you for another successful year of business. We want to wish everybody a safe, healthy, and prosperous 2018. In addition to our pasture mowing service, we also offer fence row spraying and stump grinding. Now is the perfect time to go ahead on weed control and to take care of those troublesome stumps. We are locally owned and operated, licensed and insured, and farm ready. Powell Gene, Gene at yahoo.com, 352-629-2440. Gene Powell, pasture mowing, 352-629-2440. Gene is a proud United States veteran.
Hey guys, looking for something unique? Then try TripAdvisor's #1, the Gypsy Gold Farm Tour. What's so special? Your 2-hour tour begins with one of the most unique stories in the annals of equine history and continues with a walk to meet historical gypsy vanner horses and more. Photo opportunities. Shop. Await your holiday visit. Tours are every Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday from 10 a.m. until noon. Only $20 per person. Children 5 years old and under are free. Book now at gypsygold.com.
Hey folks, remember this, a gift from Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens in Ocala just keeps on growing and growing all year long. Here are a few of Bob's best green and gifting suggestions. His famous camellias, regularly $14.99 for just $9.99, and plenty of larger sizes are available. Gorgeous first quality foil wrap poinsettias in 6 different gorgeous colors, 5-inch size with 3 to 5 blooms. You get 3 for $12. How about Christmas cactus, budded and blooming, starting at $3.99. One of Bob's favorites, dwarf ever-blooming red ruffle azaleas. Pick up an armful. They're great stocking stuffers, and they're still $3.99. Come on over this week for sure to the Christmas Giving Wonderland. Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens, Southeast 38th Street, Ocala, now open with longer Christmas holiday hours.
I'm sorry, 53 degrees right now. Let's return to Carol Ann Baldwin. Oh my gosh, I'm just messing up all over the place, Carol Ann.
Hey, one of those
there was
days.
something I was going to tell you.
Right.
Okay. So can I do this real quickly?
Sure.
All right. So you know this DNA test to see your ancestry?
Right.
So I was going to ask you if that applies to plants. Like, could you take that poinsettia plant from Bob Wine's, for example, that's sitting in front of you, and do a DNA test and find out its ancestry? I know it's crazy, but is that possible?
I mean, because, with hybridized, I think I did say that right. Hybridized plants, you could get, because we even list the crosses in which they go through, that, somewhat you can find, what it would be. I mean, everything has a DNA. And so, to find the chain, that's how they.
So here's the article, and I'm not. I don't know. I don't know anything
just
about
something
it.
Weird, yeah.
Just it was something in the news. I want to share this with you. So Inside Edition took 3 triplets.
Okay.
They all have the same exact DNA,
right.
And they all sent off their samples to the different companies. Okay. So one of them was 15. Let's see. Their Maynard triplets revealed the results for their family tree DNA test. It showed that all had British Isles ancestry, but the amount was different. Aaron Maynard was 59%, Mandy was 66%, and Melissa was 70%. I don't know what this tells you.
That there's errors, that there's margin. But then again, identical twins. I mean, I don't think their DNA is identical.
It could be
it's pretty darn close. Yeah. So the 69 to 70. I mean that's a margin of error.
I'm thinking that too. Yeah. So I guess the point of Inside Edition's article is they don't trust these things.
Right.
But
right.
I look at it the way you do. I think it's probably give or take a few.
Right,
you
right.
know?
I mean, if three other siblings born at different times to the same parents went through, you would probably still find those margin of errors, even though you have the same parents. You know, your ancestry is the same.
Right, it's the same.
I mean, it would have been different if one of them was only 20%,
or
and the other, right, or zero of that one, and that they knew that the family was never from, or best of their knowledge.
But it could be, I suppose, you know. I mean, if I took a glass of tea and I mixed in some sugar, and then I gave you a glass, half of it, and I gave myself half of it, and we measured how much sugar was in each half, it's possible that you have more sugar, I have more.
Depending on how well it was stirred.
So there's my amateur scientific explanation as to the...
So, and margin of error kind of thing, I mean, it's... to me, it's. I don't really know why you need your full, DNA.
I'm not really sure about that either.
I mean, if you're really into the genealogy kind of thing, but still, when you're tracing your family lineage back, I guess it's giving you a chance to look in another direction, or see if you're going in the right direction of chasing family that maybe you do not have any written history upon.
But if
that
I think the implications are, however, that we are, and I know this isn't about plants, we'll get right back on track.
Right.
But I think the implications are that, we're kind of all, don't be prejudiced because you might have some of that blood in you.
Right, that's true. That's true too.
All right.
But you mentioned before we went to break that I have a great prize package here, and I do. I have 3 gift certificates here, and I guess we'll do them at the bottom of the hour when we go to the news break.
Yeah, that sounds good.
One gift certificate is $25 value for pack mail, mailing, which is at 1202 Southwest 17th Street, Suite 102 in Ocala. They have a website, weshipocala.com, $25 from them. And then we have $25 from Brick City Bicycles over on 217 Southeast 1st Avenue. Again, website brickcitybicycles.com, $25 from them. And Bob Wine's Community Gardens and Nursery,
nice.
$20 gift certificate from them. That's for plants only and excluding seasonal plants. So don't go in looking for your Christmas cactus and things like that for this.
So we're going to do that at the bottom of the hour?
We'll do that at the bottom of the hour to one lucky winner.
And you do have a phone call right now. Let's take that call. Good morning. Thank you for being patient with us. You're on the air.
Good morning, Caroline.
Morning, Sonny.
I have a question. Since you mentioned the Bob Wines, I will throw it in there. I had a commercial about these cocktail trees.
Yes.
And I keep thinking I want to plant the lemon tree.
Okay.
Only because I have some neighbors here. They planted lemon trees, and the lemons they were harvesting were really fantastic. And
right.
It looks like, they're never around. They're like snowbirds.
Okay.
So I know they don't really, go crazy taking care of them. I guess the lawn guy does something. But
Sure.
Anyway, their lemons were really fantastic. Now, what I want to know is if I planted a lemon tree, could I plant that cocktail tree? And basically, I'm assuming that it's a tree that has grafts on there for, say, oranges or whatever the other.
Yes, you could. Yeah.
But I have room in my yard. I could put down put down 2.
Right.
And I just think it would be nice to have natural lemons because I make a lemon drink every day that I drink.
Right.
And I use a whole lemon, whack it up, and put it in a 32-ounce container.
Right.
And stick it in the refrigerator.
There you go.
When I go to drink it, I put sweetener in the glass, and then
pour your lemon water. Yeah.
Water over it.
Sure.
Because I found you can't put the sweetener in all at the same time. It just ruins the taste of the lemon, and it's just waste.
Gotcha. Sure. Yeah. I don't see why you wouldn't. I mean, now were you looking for a cocktail tree with lemon on it, or a lemon tree and then a cocktail tree?
Yes, a lemon tree, then a cocktail tree.
Okay, yeah. On the cocktail trees, now the cocktail tree, you're generally going to get fewer fruit from each of the varieties because obviously you don't have a canopy that's all one fruit. So on the cocktail tree, which is nice, because sometimes people just want, you're one or two people, how many fruit can you eat? You can't eat 300, Valencia oranges in a season, and your neighbors are slamming doors and windows because you keep sneaking them in their house because you have an overabundance. But the cocktail trees are great because of that you're getting, your lemons or your limes, maybe a tangerine or so. The larger fruited cocktail trees like the grapefruit and such, I'm a little leery on those, especially if they have too many other items. The grapefruit section is a stronger, heartier, more vigorous, and can sometimes break limbs when they get overloaded, or they will outcompete the smaller fruited varieties like some of the tangerines or lemons. So if you're looking for a combination for the cocktail tree, I prefer the smaller fruited varieties, the orange, tangerine, lemons, limes kind of thing.
Right. Now, my other question is that does a cocktail tree require more attention, i.e. bug spray or whatever?
No, they would be the same kind of care, one or the other. It's still a citrus tree. They're still going to be fed at the same times with the same kind of fertilizers. Pruning would be done as needed, same as anything else, just mostly removing dead pieces, somewhat to control size. But other than that, they're the exact same care.
And then the one last question, and I'll hang up. But
Sure.
Is there anything as far as say pests go, like birds or whatever? I know I had a neighbor years ago, and they had cherry trees, and they had to get the netting out and everything else. And even then, the birds figured out how to get at the cherries.
Sure. Well, with citrus, you don't usually have a bird issue. You could have a squirrel or raccoon problem, and I wouldn't even say there's a big problem. So long as you're consuming the fruit, it's usually not a big issue. Most of your things that would be a problem with citrus, young trees, it's a problem, would be the orange dog caterpillar, only because, and that grows up to be the giant swallowtail. So you don't want to destroy those caterpillars, but you move them onto a stronger tree. If it's a full-size tree, if it's already grown, they're not going to defoliate it fully. Let them munch their little bit that they consume on that, and then you've got the wonderful butterflies. Aphids can be a problem. Whitefly can be a problem. Our biggest concern nowadays is the Asian citrus psyllid, which that's what causes the citrus greening. It's with that, I think the best fight on that is while the trees are young or proper use is a systemic or on a regular spray program for yourself, and keeping that tree as healthy as you can. Lots of fertilizer, just as just somehow or another, keeping it as strong as it can be.
You tell me, in other words, stay with the lemon tree. Don't go with the other one.
No, any of them, because all of the trees can be susceptible. I don't know if lemons are quite as susceptible to it, but if you really like the lemons, go for the lemon. That's for sure.
Yeah. That's why I'm thinking about the two trees. I was originally thinking just two lemon trees. That way, it would, there's a pollination requirement.
No issue on that. I think if you had two lemon trees, you might have an overabundance of them, and have too many that you wouldn't be able to process, because we can squeeze and freeze the lemon juice and, throw a couple cubes of it into your pitcher of water in the morning versus, just cutting up the lemon. But, I I don't fear planting citrus. I just know that nowadays it's not going to be a 35-year tree. It's more like a 15-year tree to have a, good quality fruit production and things like that, and maybe a little more care, but I don't have a problem doing that to have, fresh fruit out of my landscape.
All right. Well, thank you very much for the information, and I think I'm going to do that. Because the other thing with the lemon, I tried that with ice cubes and all that.
Yeah.
It just takes away the taste of the lemon somehow or the other, or doctors it makes it more sour.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, I just leave it in the refrigerator, and I pour my glasses of lemon and I add a sweetener, and I'm a very happy camper with that.
There you go.
And plus, it's supposed to help you out with your electrolytes.
Sure. Supposed to be good for you.
All right.
Thank you
Sonny.
Very much.
Yep. Have a great day.
You too.
You, Larry and WOCA for the programming.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Sonny. So we're up against the break, and you have some prizes.
We got the prizes, so call in during the break.
Give us the rundown of the
We got Bob Wine's $20 gift certificate to Bob Wine's, $25 for Brick City Bicycles, and $25 for Pack Mail services.
All right, so all three prizes will go to you if you're the person we pick at random. The number to call during the break is 622-9622. You will not be on the air, so you don't have to worry about that. And the prizes are yours to keep, to give away, or put them in a stocking. Could be a good stocking stuffer for somebody. Yep. We'll take a little break, take your calls right now, 622-9622. We'll just pick one at random. Good luck. We'll be right back.
Hey, folks, remember this. A gift from Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens in Ocala just keeps on growing and growing all year long. Here are a few of Bob's best green and gifting suggestions. His famous camellias, regularly $14.99 for just $9.99, and plenty of larger sizes are available. Gorgeous first quality foil wrap poinsettias in 6 different gorgeous colors, 5-inch size with 3 to 5 blooms. You get 3 for $12. How about Christmas cactus, budded and blooming, starting at $3.99. One of Bob's favorites, dwarf ever-blooming red ruffle azaleas. Pick up an armful. They're great stocking stuffers, and they're still $3.99. Come on over this week for sure to the Christmas Giving Wonderland. Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens, Southeast 38th Street, Ocala, now open with longer Christmas holiday hours.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Well, we're not supposed to really play the theme song again. It's just so yeah, Kathy is the winner of the prizes. That was good. That was good.
She had nice prize package there. Yeah, she's got $20 for Bob Wine's, $25 for Brick City, and $25 for Pack Mail.
Nice. Now, have you been able to look at? She was asking us if you.
She just said she put a question up on in the garden page, and she was wondering which. Tangerine varieties were good for our area, and personally I like the mandarin type just because they open easy. You stick your fingers in and they just pop open. And there you go.
Robin bought some called Halo.
Halos and Cuties, I think, are similar to that.
Oh my gosh!
Real easy peel.
And you put them in the refrigerator, they're like candy.
Oh yeah.
Because they're cold. Oh my gosh, it's so good.
Yeah, but this, which I'm trying to remember the names on some of those ones. So
is it genetically modified? Speaking of genetics, when there are no seeds in there, how do they do that? How do they get an orange without seeds?
It's breeding. Yeah. It is breeding. It's not necessarily genetic modification versus it's over the years. If you keep breeding something that has fewer seeds and fewer seeds, you will eventually get what's considered seedless. Seedless is less than 6 seeds, I think, for it. So they may still have a few seeds, but that they do, just like with anything else. And that's sort of a. It's not truly natural selection. It's man-made selection that. But it's not in the laboratory genetically altering it, even though it could be done, or certain things, certain characteristics can be done that way. But if it's one, like you say, a seedless orange and things like that, seedless watermelon, they're bred down to where you've got fewer and fewer. But then a lot of times you would need a pollinator type thing in order to keep it going, because that will never reproduce itself. Yeah. So it's just trying to remember. Yeah, Dancy, I've always liked a Dancy. Clementine, trying to find the ones, the page I want. There we go. I think that's the one I want. See if I can get my right one here. The tangerine varieties. But they got the Mineola Tangelo, the honey murcot. Everybody knows the honey murcot is the one that I think with the bell on the top was the honey bell.
Oh, okay.
But they are so sweet. I'm trying to think. The ones that are going to be ones you're going to find locally would probably be the Satsuma Page, which is a hybrid, Orlando Tangelo, the honey murcot, the Mineola. Mineola is another really good one. The Dancy tangerine, and those are just they're ones you're going to find locally, and they're all really good fruit. Because I prefer a tangerine over an orange any day.
Why is that?
I just like the ability to open it and just eat it.
Quickly,
open it and eat it versus having to either cut it or peel it, or have a harder time to peel them. But all of those are ones that have been around for a while. I don't think there's none. There are no of the new ones that they're trying to work with that will be resistant to greening out on the market for the homeowner to purchase yet. That's probably a good, I would probably say 10 years down the road. Personally,
Really?
5 to 10 years, because they got to get it to where it actually is producing a quality. Make sure that it is actually resistant to this disease before they're going to bring it out as something and be able to sell it as resistant. And even then, when they do, look at the price of citrus trees are going up.
Yeah.
Or even price of citrus to go up. But then again, it's better than, running a little short on them. But I would say, I like the Dancy, the Mineola, the honey murcot. Those ones for flavor I know I've had, and those are good. Those are good ones.
They're good stocking stuffers.
Yes, that was always the thing as a child.
Right,
You always had fruit in the toe, and you were allowed to eat that. While everybody else, while you were, mom's still trying to wake up and get a cup of coffee. Kind of thing.
It made it feel heavy too.
Yes, it did. It
my stocking is so heavy. I got so much stuff in here.
Yeah,
and it's
it was lots of fruit.
Did you put nuts in there too?
Always had pistachios in ours.
Yeah. Phone line is open if you want to call. The number is 622-9622. Remember, Carolyn does this each Tuesday, so this is a good time to mark it on if you're just discovering the show. Yep. And don't forget, there's a Facebook page called In the Garden also. You can participate in that, and gives it a visual element to this radio show. You can post photos of your plants, especially, by the way, I don't know if you remember this. A long time ago, I told you I had this little white dusty looking thing on my palm. What's that thing?
On your sago palm?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, it looks dead to me now.
Right.
The whole
Well,
thing.
Well, I told you had scale.
I know. So I didn't do anything, and now it's dead.
Well, it's not dead.
No. So if I cut it off at the base, will it grow back?
No, you'd probably have pups grow back. The best thing would be to cut off all the fronds and spray the trunk down with an oil spray.
Oh, okay. So just cut off all the fronds.
Just cut off all the fronds and destroy them.
And what kind of oil?
What they call horticultural oil, an oil spray.
Is that what I asked for? Horticultural oil?
Horticultural oil. It's usually over with the pesticides and things like that, and it mixes with water. Sometimes you can get the neem a lot of times in a hose end or one that you can trigger spray. But if you have to spray the whole trunk, the best thing to do is a hose end or one with a pump sprayer.
And is this a good time of year?
Yeah, it's as good as any.
Okay.
Yeah, because you're getting the overwintering ones.
I'll just get rid of all those fronds and then put oil on it, and I'll you know what? I'll do like a video. You know what? This is the one. Do you remember I had one that had like 7
pups at the bottom of them?
No, not pups. It had the 7. The 7 male things.
Right, whatever. The flowers on the top.
Whatever you call them.
It was a flower.
Yeah.
It's a flower.
But all the other ones only had one.
Right.
This guy was really bragging.
It was, and which is odd because that means that there was seven, and I'm trying to think of a better word.
It's a really
7 crowns is what it was because it's the King Sago.
Okay.
On the top, because usually it's they're single. I have seen some with other ones with multiples, but it's usually usually one, and yours has 7.
And now it's dead.
Now it's
looks
dead.
dead, but you just gave me hope.
Just cut off all the dead stuff.
All right. Well, thank you for sharing that with me.
Yeah.
All right. Good morning. You're on the air with Carol Ann.
Good morning. This is Robert calling. A quick question for Carol Ann.
Sure.
Okay. I've heard that too much nitrogen could be damaging to palm trees. Is that true? Like if you put it on your grass?
It's not necessarily the nitrogen that's damaging to it. If it's when we feed our lawns, if we're using weed and feed, the palm tree or any tree or shrub is able to pick up that weed control also, which can weaken a tree. But the high nitrogen, if you're not feeding the palm other fertilizers, a palm fertilizer, that's where you're going to end up with your deficiencies. If you're thinking that just because you're fertilizing the lawn, the palm is getting enough, it's not getting the right stuff. It's getting lawn fertilizer, not palm fertilizer.
Okay, all right. Well, you've answered my question very well. Thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank
you're welcome.
you.
Yeah, and
bye.
just bye-bye. And just to go a little further on that is when we fertilize, if you use a weed and feed in the lawn and you have trees or shrubs and things like that are not in mulched beds or separated from the turf somehow, you are putting that weed control down over those roots, over those feeder roots, so it can take it up and over a period of time begin to cause a decline. Palms usually are not affected too much by most weed controls. Just try to kill off a palm tree with an herbicide, and it doesn't usually work. But over time, it probably could weaken it. And your turf fertilizer is just that. It's normally a very high nitrogen, no phosphorus, minimal potassium, not a whole lot of anything. And your shrubs and trees and things like that usually need, minimal on the nitrogen or a lower number on the nitrogen, a bit of phosphorus, some more potassium, going for a root zone, and then it also needs manganese, magnesium, iron, boron, copper, molybdenum, the whole other list. That's why when you're buying a fertilizer, flip that bag over. Don't just look at the 3 numbers. Look at the minor elements that are in there also. If you have palms and you've had deficiencies in the past, you might look for a liquid palm fertilizer with like chelated fertilization where you're actually spraying it to the fronds as well as doing a granulated fertilizer on the ground, because those chelated nutrients will be absorbed through the fronds, but do it as a palm. Don't break out the Miracle-Gro and think you're going to do it wonders. Go with something more labeled for the palm itself, where it'll have magnesium and manganese, to correct the yellowing or the frizzle top and the, some other different things, boron deficiencies and things like that.
We're up against another break, and before we take a break, I want to ask you all if you would go to gypsygold.com. I'm not trying to sell you anything. I want to give you away. I want to give away something. This is a gift certificate for the Gypsy Gold Horse Farm. It's a tour of the farm, and they charge $20 to take a tour, and I've got a gift certificate for one of those tours. But I want you to know what it is, and I want you to see these horses. So if you go to gypsygold.com, you'll see their horses. You'll get an idea. This is a horse farm right here in Ocala, and they've teamed up with WOCA to help give you some stocking stuffers, and we got one. So,
and anybody who's got a little girl who loves horses, you just go, there you go. There's a day.
That's a beautiful way to say this, because I don't know anything about horses.
Right.
But I looked at these. I went to this website.
Horses.
They got this really long, girly hair.
Yeah.
I mean, I hate to sound sexist or something, but it looks like ladies' hair on these horses.
Right.
It's beautiful. Anyway, if you want the $20 gift certificate, call me right now, and it'll be yours.
There you go.
622-9622. I want somebody to win it who will use it. That's what I want. Don't win it just because it's a prize. Go to gypsygold.com. Say, oh, I would love to go there.
I would love to take my daughter, my granddaughter, my wife, my girlfriend.
I think it's only a 2-hour tour. So
could be, but it's a nice day.
Yeah. We'll be right back. 622-9622 if you want the gift certificate, and I'll pick one person at random. We'll be right back.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accidents. On this Tuesday, sunshine and becoming breezy in the afternoon, high 72 to 76. Clear and rather chilly Tuesday night, lows in the low to mid-30s in the coldest inland spots, about 42 along the coast. Sunshine but cooler for Wednesday, high 59 to 63. And Thursday, partly sunny and warmer again, high 69 to 73. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
What are you getting into?
Oh, hey, Joe, look at these cool toys.
Some nice things. A doll, a baseball bat. Hey, what's this?
Oh, that's a translator.
A translator?
Yeah, Chinese, Japanese, even Ocala-ese.
Ocala-ese?
Yeah, give it a try.
Okay, translator. Translate ice skating rink.
The translation of ice skating rink in Ocala-ese is large white sheet of plastic.
Oh, that's good. Translate winter.
Winter in Ocala-ese is 2 days in January.
Isn't this a great toy?
Okay, translator. Translate Santa Claus.
The translation of Santa Claus in Ocala-ese is WOCA listeners.
That's right, WOCA listeners. You've done it before, and we're asking for your help again.
Just bring a new or gently used toy to the WOCA studios in the Paddock Mall, and we'll put it under our Christmas tree.
Then, on December 15th, all the toys will be picked up by Florida Kids Helping Kids.
WOCA listeners truly are Santa Claus.
Gene Powell, Paschamoy. Gene and Debbie would like to thank you for another successful year of business. We want to wish everybody a safe, healthy, and prosperous 2018. In addition to our pasture mowing service, we also offer fence row spraying and stump grinding. Now is the perfect time to go ahead on weed control and to take care of those troublesome stumps. We are locally owned and operated, licensed and insured, and farm ready. Powell Gene, Gene at yahoo.com, 352-629-2440. Gene Powell, pasture mowing, 352-629-2440. Gene is a proud United States veteran.
Hey guys, looking for something unique? Then try TripAdvisor's #1, the Gypsy Gold Farm Tour. What's so special? Your 2-hour tour begins with one of the most unique stories in the annals of equine history and continues with a walk to meet historical gypsy vanner horses and more. Photo opportunities and a gift shop await your holiday visit. Tours are every Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday from 10 a.m. until noon. Only $20 per person. Children 5 years old and under are free. Book now at gypsygold.com.
Hey folks, remember this, a gift from Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens in Ocala just keeps on growing and growing all year long. Here are a few of Bob's best green and gifting suggestions. His famous camellias, regularly $14.99 for just $9.99, and plenty of larger sizes are available. Gorgeous first quality foil wrap poinsettias in 6 different gorgeous colors, 5-inch size with 3 to 5 blooms. You get 3 for $12. How about Christmas cactus, budded and blooming, starting at $3.99. One of Bob's favorites, dwarf ever-blooming red ruffle azaleas. Pick up an armful. They're great stocking stuffers, and they're still $3.99. Come on over this week for sure to the Christmas Giving Wonderland. Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens, Southeast 38th Street, Ocala, now open with longer Christmas holiday hours.
Thank you. Let's see, 11 minutes before 10 o'clock. Wow, this goes fast. Carol Ann Baldwin is here to answer your questions about your gardens and your lawns. And so I have one quick question for you. If I were to come to you, not for advice on my garden, but for advice on a gift to give somebody who loves gardening, what would you suggest?
Well, one thing would be a gift certificate for somewhere and allow them to pick out plants that if you know that they're working on a landscape, that's one.
Yeah.
But other than that, you look at gardening gloves. I mean, there's some of the gardening gloves, nice ones, that can get a little expensive, so they may not buy them for themselves. Like if they have a lot of roses, the gauntlet gloves that have a longer sleeve, so that you're not getting poked by your roses. Pruners are always a nice gift, a nice pair of pruners. Sometimes there's the little gardening, the smaller sets that if you have the hand tools, or even a stool that you can pull around in the garden that you can throw your tools inside, and you got a place to sit to do your work on.
Oh, really? They sell a stool with
it's almost they roll, and it's got a little thing. It's got. You flip the lid up, you can put your tools in. And
that sounds very useful.
There's all kinds of different. Now, this time of year, unfortunately, even though we're in Florida and we garden year round, corporate America doesn't see that. They see it's the holidays, it's wintertime. Those kind of things are not replenished. New product doesn't usually come in until after the first of the year or after the holidays. So sometimes you either have to have thought of this back in September, October to find something nice, or going online and finding, going to some, the garden catalogs and things like that, and doing that way. Subscription to something like Florida Gardening Magazine. I think, or another gardening magazine of their choice would even be a nice gift as well. Garden journals, Garden Florida. For us here in Florida, the University of Florida has all kinds of different publications about gardening in the state of Florida, because as I've said and many others people have learned, gardening here is different than gardening anywhere else in the country. And I guess you could probably say that about a couple other states, when you get into like Arizona and places like that, where you've got very unique climate situations and soil situations. So books on gardening locally, if they're here in Florida, if they're out of state, you're finding one that's, a garden journal even, or there's a few apps out there that might have a fee attached to them on plant identification and things like that. Might even be some ideas.
Yeah, that is cool.
Yeah, there's a few different things.
Okay, thank you. Phone lines are open. If you have a question for Carol Ann, the number is 622-9622, and let's see, 2 weeks from today is the day after Christmas, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah. So we've got about a week and a half.
So next week is your before Christmas show.
Right.
Will you be here the day after Christmas?
Probably.
Yeah, really?
Yeah. Oh,
really?
I'm in town. Actually, I'm off. I have to use up some the end of the year, all my holiday time and stuff. So because I was off Wednesday and Thursday that week, and we're closed on Monday for the holiday, I said, why don't you give me Tuesday off? Just make it 4 days here.
Just do a nice
just
Christmas
do a nice
holiday. Yeah.
And then I tried for the New Year week, and it didn't work out. I have to go do some training for the new store that'll be opening. And I don't know if we have any listeners that are down in the Wildwood area or that section, or they have family or whatever that are closer down there to Wildwood. Lowe's is getting a new store down there in that area.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So they should be opening about mid-January.
So they're not being affected by the tendency for people to buy online. I guess when you buy a store like Lowe's, you want to see it. I mean,
but no, actually, we do a lot of online, and that new store is going to be a lot of online orders. That's what they are.
So that's kind of what they're.
That's what their concept is. Yeah, but we do a lot of online. I just not always a big fan, because until they can make sure that on-hand quantities are exact, it gets tough.
What about quality, though? I mean, you look at a photo, it looks good. It might get it and it looks cheap,
Well, but I don't think, most of your home improvement kind of stuff, ordering tools and things like that. And
you just trust the brand name?
Yeah, you trust in the brand name or knowing the brand name. So that's.
So what is a good brand name of tools?
Tools?
I
mean,
like gardening tools.
Gardening tools, pruners. I like Coronas.
Corona.
Okay. It's a nice. Yeah, it's a
nice quality.
It's a little more expensive. I mean, Fiskars are nice. They're usually they used to be higher priced. The Fiskars were. They're still a good quality one, but they are down a little bit. I think the Corona is a little more on the professional line, but still, I say reasonably priced for something that's going to be a long-lasting tool that can be sharpened. You can, so long as with normal care, they're going to last for years and years and years. So that's what,
So that's good advice.
Yeah.
So Corona and
and as pruners. Fiskars are another one. I stay away from the store brand ones only because if you're doing any true gardening or whatever, they're going to have a tendency to snap on you.
Well, that's not good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually had some of the smaller, I won't buy the ones with the real fine blade anymore because I broke 3 pair. I broke the blade off of them. And it was just snipping small.
Just normal things.
Just normal
It shouldn't
things.
break
That was
it.
the size that it was supposed to be, and it snapped them off. So, yeah, I'll go with, I like the Coronas. I think every one of my hand pruners
Really?
or hedge
So
pruners
that's the
and all
name.
that are
C-O-R?
ONA, Corona, just like
Corona,
kind of like the beer, but but as a hand
And the
printer.
typewriter. Wasn't there a Corona typewriter?
Yeah, there was a Corona typewriter.
Is that the same
I believe.
company?
Yeah, I doubt it. Yeah, you never know. They could have branched out as modern technology came in, but and I mean, there's some that are. I think there's Black and Decker. I think make hand tools too. And then nowadays you've got a lot of the cordless power things that are out there too.
I had a Black and Decker weed eater.
Yeah, I've got one and it works like a charm. It's electric.
And it worked okay, but it had a plastic casing on it, and the plastic casing broke relatively quickly.
Oh wow!
So I went for the brand name, thinking I was getting something good,
and well, again, it's when you look at them, sometimes you judge it because there's even the lower line on some of the name brands that they have a lower line and a higher line on those.
So you get what you pay for.
Yeah, So
you hate to pay a lot of money, but
then again,
you're better
you realize
off if you do.
or split the difference and get the one in the middle.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Probably
if
what
it's
they're hoping you do.
Right, and that's and when you have your store brand and you have your top of the line, there's usually one in the middle too, and. So you don't have to step all the way to the top, especially if you're looking at a gift where you're not real sure if the person's got one, or if they're really into gardening. If it's a young person, that seems to be showing interest in gardening, but sometimes we know some of that stuff becomes fleeting and it goes away after a year or so, or you don't always want to spend a bunch of money on stuff.
So are you all set for Christmas?
Oh no. I haven't had time to shop.
I haven't either.
I should have been shopping over the weekend, but it's just been a busy time. So. Busy time.
So what is your thought on the temperature? It looks like the whole country is going to be cold and snowy, but we're going to do pretty good this week, huh?
Well, this week we're going to be cool. It's going to be, I guess we're coming back up to the seasonal where it is that low 70s for the daytime high with the mid 40s for the overnight lows.
Not too bad.
I still don't like the 40s. It just, that hurts. Just not crazy about that temperature. I get up too early for that. But yeah, it looks like we're seasonal. If you've got some tender plants, you may need to keep them in or bring them back in another couple of nights. Just pay attention to what they're saying those overnight lows are. I don't think we're supposed to freeze the rest of this week, but keep an eye out. Keep the frost blankets handy.
Always fun, Carolina. It just goes too fast.
Sure does.
Can we ask you one Tuesday just to do like a whole 5-hour thing? A 5-hour marathon?
5-hour marathon. That would only work if nobody else was showing up.
All right, Carolina, thank you for what you do, and we'll see you next week.
We'll see you next time.
We'll be right back.